It's pathetic.
It's out the question. He had a whole baby with her, with a girl that lived in their building. You're gone. You're done. Okay? You didn't just text her some little flirting. No, you had a baby with a girl that lives in our building. You're finished. I don't know what Rashida's doing. I'm sorry.
Well, she said.
To have a healthy marriage. Stop listening to all this crazy shit on social media. So what? Let her talk her shit and pop her shit. She's still bitter. She's still overweight. She's still DMing married men. Her life is not reflective of anything that any man wants. Y'all better start standing in your power.
Yeah. I'm not against it because what you said was the scripture, which adultery breaks it anyway. So there's no right or wrong. So I get it. But I just couldn't imagine somebody together for like 30 years and y'all hit a rough patch and then one of y'all maybe is texting or something and you just like forget it. So Rashida and Kirk's situation is out the question.
It's out the question. He had a whole baby with her, with a girl that lived in their building. You're gone. You're done. Okay? You didn't just text her some little flirting. No, you had a baby with a girl that lives in our building. You're finished. I don't know what Rashida's doing. I'm sorry.
Well, she said the reason being is I brought that up because they had a lot of money tied in together. And a lot of the times when they say like it's less, I don't want to say
cheaper to keep her, or it's cheaper to keep him.
Yeah, but for both of them, like the things in the divorce, they would have to sever, and then a lot of times they feel like, dang, you gonna give all of that up because of this. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I just brought that up.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
And the reason I'm pushing so hard because people think of the narratives. Everything is fear-based. Everybody wants you to live in this corner, afraid that if you make the wrong move, you're going to lose it. Afraid if you make the wrong move, somebody's going to take your spot, right? Whether it's YouTube, whether it's being on a panel, screw all that. Like when we really think about the life that we're supposed to have, I'll stop. Let me get off my soapbox.
On that, stop pushing your significant other to the streets and then blaming them and then moving on to the next relationship. And because your ass didn't take the self correction and accountability that you should have, you're repeating the same situation constantly. It's literally women that done been in 5 relationships that done ended the same fucking way, and she blamed all 5 of the men instead of herself.
So if a woman what you're saying is a woman that was cheated on, and every one of her relationships is her fault.
No, what I'm saying is every one of those relationships, she's not blameless. She's not guiltless. She played a role in it, but let her tell it. She didn't play a role in it, and that's my problem.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, because I've had friends that's like, "Oh, she's a good woman. Why would he do that?" And she's like, "I did everything that he wanted me to do. So why would he cheat?"
And you're not getting the whole story either.
There's levels. There are men that cheat because they're not getting what they need. There are men that are getting everything they need and cheat because there's just the opportunity to. So there's levels to it. There's no one thing. Like different men move around different. And then there's men that just like have the audacity like that. They feel like, I mean, you ain't gonna get nobody like me, so I can do whatever I want because you ain't going nowhere because you never gonna get nobody like me. You know what I mean? So there's multiple different men that have different thought processes when they out in them streets.
I think that's what's confusing about some women, because they're like, well, dang, like they'll stick around with a cheater because they'll feel like they did something wrong for him to cheat.
Mm-hmm. I don't that could be the case. That's the reason. If I'm gonna keep it real, I think a lot of women stick with the cheater because he's just terrified to start over.
Yep.
Facts. A lot of men
unknown.
Got comfortable in that situation, and again,
a lot of men are too. Let's not cap. I know men currently being cheated on and literally are just like dealing.
Yeah, somebody in the chat said that they've been married 22 years and their husband left. She would never leave.
Damn. I just feel like if you let your man know that he can get away with cheating and stay, you give him an inch, he gonna take about 30 miles with that freedom, and he gonna bring back a baby.
I've seen it.
Maybe that's how Kurt got a baby, because
after a while you'll see that.
But actually,
step out and end up having a baby. It's
on
because
previous
your wife.
seasons. Before he got that baby, he was already cheating with other women before he got.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you allow him to keep cheating, he's gonna take it further and further and say, "Well, let me just go ahead and slip off the protection." Okay, they'll take it further and further and further until they bring you back a baby.
Child.
I feel a little different because to me it depends on the circumstances. Like, I would never just blatantly say, "Oh, if you cheat, I'm okay with it." No, of course not. But I've seen a lot of situations, those old couples where they had stories and he never did it again, or she never. Usually they don't stay if the woman do it, but usually you hear like, "Oh yeah, I did this and she chased her around the corner," or you hear those stories and then he never do it again. So when I say I would never do it, I'm speaking from a place where I've never experienced that. But if I believe that this person is showing remorse, or they told me, or it was no relationship, it was like a trip, one and done, you got some sloppy, or it has to depend on the circumstances.
Girl, men will cry.
So
cry, act like they about
no,
to die.
I'm not talking about that type of man, because if that's the case, women lie in different situations. It may not be cheating, right? So we're just looking at the cheating, meaning the betrayal, the disloyalty. This woman experienced my man. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you make her moan? Like, those are the things that, I would start to think about. So it would depend on the circumstances. But if we like on some certain levels, I can't just effectively say I would leave my husband. I would break up our entire family. Is my point. So it really did come down to it. I'm not either way.
So if he because I know that there's like, okay, if there's an issue, right, whatever, whether it's cheating, whatever the case, and y'all are trying to work back into it, because I've been in this situation, and I was just like, we're gonna work it out, right? But I don't want you touching me. It took a minute for us to get back to a place where, like, I want you touching me. And that became an argument, because it's kind of like, okay, I'm not in the streets. I'm gonna earn your trust back, be loyal, blah, blah, blah. But you're not giving me none. And I'm like, and you don't deserve none, right?
Exactly. Period.
You was out here in the streets. So that's also like, that's why I just said, like, once you do it, it just makes everything so complicated, because now it's like, damn, you know what I mean? Now you have to work through all these things. But me personally, I feel like most of the women that like stay around with cheating, or at least per my observation, it's because they got their lick back. So now we even, and we cool. We can move on.
And Kayla, my gynecologist told me, she said she's married. She said I get checked at least once a year, because there's so many married women that be coming back positive for STIs. So,
well, yeah, because their husbands be in the streets, and then they forgive them and they take them back. That's why I'll be like, that's why in that situation I was just like, you're not about to touch me for a minute, because I'm like not knowing like what like, and I've seen that. A friend of mine whose man was in the NFL gave her a STI twice. Once she forgave him, they got back on track. He gave it her again. This girl was in therapy. She was mentally like, he messed her up. Like, I'm just like, you should just left him alone, right? But it's just kind of like people do what they do, and they love who they love and all this extra stuff. So